Hello, how you doing? Today we're going to go over Module 5. Module 5 covers input and output. Write that down, input and output. This you don't have to write down. Some of the things that had input, we'll go over keyboard sensors, color sensors, math, operator, and multiplier. Okay, input versus output. Okay, input is, you need to write this down. Input is when the user enters information into the computer. These are some of the examples right here. When you type in a button, pressing a button, using up, down, left arrows, or talking on something. Output, you need to write this down right here. Output is when the computer takes information and uses a function to process that information and give some feedback to the user. You need to write that down. Some type of feedback you hear is voice recordings or seeing something on the screen. Some of the input devices, you just need to remember this. Mouse, keyboard, microphone, game controller, touch screen, body sensors, cameras, scanners. Some of your output devices, monitors, speakers, printers, plotters, and textile sensing. You don't need to write anything down, you just need to remember those. Okay, you need to write this down. Sensing. Sensing in Scratch is light blue. Some of the types. One, a sprite touching a certain color. I will use this sprite touching a certain color. You pull it out. To change this color, you see my arrow is just an arrow right now. If I left click right here, it turns into a hand. And whatever I want to color change it to, I go click on it. And now it turned to yellow. So now I can say green flag, go to sensing, if it's touching yellow, I got that out already, and then I go to control, get a forever loop, and I get an if statement. Now this is going to be my condition right here. If touching yellow, what do I want it to do? Here I'm going to either make it move 10 steps or I'll make it turn 15 degrees. So I'll pop the turn 15 degrees, move 10 steps. I like going in the direction, so I'm going to go change X by 10. And now I click the green flag, notice it's lit up, and now the cat, if it's touching the yellow, it moves 10 steps. Touching yellow again, it moves 10 steps. I pull this out, put the 15 degrees in there. If I touch yellow now, it'll continuously do that, and it'll do it forever. Pull it out. Now, that's one thing about the forever loop. Whenever you put it in there, and if that condition is true, if it's an if statement, it's going to do it until that condition is no longer true. You have to remember that. It's very important. Okay, this is a great tool if you plan to use colors ahead, and if you do not use sprites with multiple. Okay, do not use sprites with multiple colors because it will mess up. It will mess up. If you make this yellow, blue, green, pink, yellow, purple, all psychedelic color, and you put it in there, it may work sometimes, but sometimes it may not work like you want it to work. So try to use solid colors when using colors. And it must be used with a conditional operator, if or if else. If or if then else. If then and if then else. Okay, best suited for consistent interactive user input where keys are consistently being pressed. For instance, you're playing a game and you're using up, down, left arrow, and you always have to use the up, down, left arrow in order to move an object. You want to use this. You want to use this. And this part right here, you need to make sure you write this down. It must be placed within a condition statement, which is the if, and this is the condition, or a looping control tool. If you do not put this in a looping control tool, it won't work. Unless, only time it's going to work, okay, if I'm touching the yellow, when I click the green flag, it'll work. But it's only going to work one time. it's not going to continue to work because it's just not set up that way. If you want to continuously check, you have to put it inside a forever loop. So now if I click the green flag, you notice it stays highlighted and it continues to turn. That's the way it's going to work until that condition is no longer true. So you must use a looping tool and it must be placed within some type of condition statement. If you have too many of these, if you have like 8, 9 of these going across, it will slow your game down. And you hate a game that lags, because the processor is trying to check all those things at the same time. So it just makes it where it starts to lag, because your computer just doesn't have enough power to make all those things, to check all those things at once. So whenever I use more than one, I try to duplicate it and put them within inside. So now it's checking, it's going down, checking through all these at the same time. So if I have another dot, I duplicate this and go to it, and I'm going to change the color of it, and I'm going to change it to red. Now I got a red dot and a yellow dot, and I go back to my cat and change this color to red, and I'm going to move this one the opposite direction. Motion, and I'm going to go counterclockwise. So now I click the green flag, it's highlighted. If I touch the yellow, I go clockwise. If I touch the red, I go counterclockwise. Okay, there's some of the things you can do with these. Moving on. Operators. You're going to use operators a lot when you're creating your games. Operators are green. These are the main ones you're going to be using right here. Plus, minus, times, division, pick random. Whatever you're using a random number, this is how you get it right here. Less than, equal to, greater than, and or not. And when you're using horizontal, vertical scroll, you're going to use the absolute value. Absolute value. Those are the main ones you're going to use. You're going to use these right here the most. From here to here, you're going to use those the most. And these here you're going to use every now and then. Okay. Something you do with operators, it multiplies input numbers. The output is the product answer. The product can be used to assign variables. The product can be assigned to motion tools. The product can be used for condition operators like if, else. I'll show you a couple of things that it can do. Green flag. Forever loop. And I'm going to ask. Give me a number 1 and 5. Okay. Whenever you use an ask, you have to use an answer. So whatever information you input for that answer right there, it's going to go inside here. I don't like using the answers by themselves. I like putting them within variables. So I'll say I already made a variable called answer, so I'll go like this. So now when you input the information, it's going to go here and it's going to put it in here. It's going to go here, it's going to put it in here. So now I can go down and make another one, green flag, and so when he finishes answering that, I'm going to make him broad. No. Yeah, okay. Green flag, and I'm going to say and put in a forever loop and whatever the answer you put in there. Okay. So whatever it says, it's going to go to the cat and the number is going to show up with the cat. So I click green flag. Right now it's 7, but I will enter a number right now and make this bigger so you can see it. Cat, okay. Now I put in a number between 1 and 5. I'm going to put 4. Enter. And it says 4. Put another number, 5. Enter. 5. 2. Enter. 2. So that's how you would use that. You can also use it to set speed, movement, and set it to equal something. And if they both equal something, you have it as a condition. You have it do something else. So that's about it for Module 5. Go ahead and continue with your assignments, and make sure you write down the notes, place the notes within your Google Docs, and turn those in.